Like my story?
No, not your story, a story. Since you can't keep your mouth shut long enough for me to read my paper, tell me a story.
I don't think I know any stories.
You don't know any stories?
No.
All right, I'll tell you a story. This is a newspaper, right? It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining. That's why I read it, because it entertains me. You won't let me read it, so you entertain me with your bullshit. Tell me a story right now. Go.
Job well done.
What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin. Where do all fights start?
Round one.
Let's get it. Yo, man. Zuffa boxing. Wow, what can I say? Still feel like I have a little feedback here still. Still working on this mic thing. Hold on a second here. Let's see if I could What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I'm always your host, Edwin. Where do all fights start? Round one. Okay. All right. I try to set it right there. Hopefully that helps. I've been having an issue with this mic for quite some times, and I guess it's the positioning I'm trying now. According to like the pros of this mic, I guess so I'm just working out the kinks here with it. So anyway, back to boxing. Zuffa boxing. Man, what can I say? We had some good moments and some embellished moments in Zuffa boxing, which what I think took away from the actual card. Zuffa boxing kicked off their card, and I gotta honestly say I was entertained. I was entertained with the fights. Maybe because I had the narrating off. Maybe that's why I was entertained. When I went back and watched it again, just to see what the analytics and the people reporting and breaking down the fight had to say, boy, I was disgusted. I wanted to vomit, man. I was like, holy shit balls. Hey, yo, Andrew Ward, the former undisputed world champion, he must want to rip his ears off and gouge out his eyes working with Max Kellerman. Yo, Max, bro, you down bad, bro. Yo, Max, I don't know what everybody else is saying about you. I only watched your commentary and quickly came on this morning because I couldn't help it, man. Because people like Claymore, Rain. Shout out to him and his channel and everything he does for boxing. He's a good, he's a good guy for boxing. But he's really high up on Zuffa. I couldn't help but think, man, what does he think about the fights and the commentary and what the message that they were sending out to the public. I was like, yo, like, right? So hold on. I don't even got you guys' chats up here. Let me put it up. Oh, what's up? What's up? I came flying in like that guy went flying into the on Zoom, to the canvas, like the guy that went flying to the canvas. He got lifted off his feet. McKenna, the older brother, bro, he lifted that dude off his feet. I was entertained. Like I said, I was entertained in the fight. When I went back to watch the fight and I heard the commentary in the fight, I was like, holy shit, they lost me right there. As a casual fan, you're being told this by some of the top analytics and former world champions of the world. You're going to believe what they're saying. Let me get to my point. Max Kellerman, you completely sold out boxing. And you want to know something? You can attack me back. Because you can say that you know a lot more about boxing. You've been around a lot more than boxing than I have. You're well more connected than I have. So what you can try to do is try to discredit my vast connections, in boxing to try to say, what do I know what I'm talking about? I don't have to have all that to know you're full of shit. You called that dude McKenna the best middleweight, super middleweight, like in the world? Are you okay, Max Kellerman? That dude is at best. He didn't. That kid, he can box, but he's not. You were talking him up like he's the greatest middleweight you have ever seen. And every time you alluded to that point, you wanted Andrew Ward to like stamp it. Yo, Andrew Ward was dancing around all your questions. It felt like he was in a fight for his life. Like you wanted him to validate McKenna. Like then leading into the fight, wasn't McKenna supposed to be competing for the Zuffa World Championship of the World with the IBF? Wasn't that what we were being told? Where was the Zuffa belt? I told y'all. Didn't I tell you guys here at Round One Sports Talk, where we talk real boxing shit? IBF can't allow that to happen. They can't spark life to your belt. You got to make your own way like we made our way. Then you got to be invited to the round table like the IBF. I'm sorry, like the IBO. Correction. But the IBO has not agreed to join them, and they have asked the IBO multiple times to join the rankings of the 4 belts to make it a 5 belt era. And the IBO said they are fine where they're at. But they have been invited, at least, not still considered a major world title until they join the rest of the club. That's what it is. It is what it is. But Zuffa, you haven't got an invitation. Your belt has not earned the right to stand in the same ring with what they made. That's business. I'm not gonna you know, boost up my competitor. And then to all the people, right? Like on the Boxing Voice, Ness told me, round one, Dana White has publicly come out and said, what? I'm not fucking with the sanctioning bodies. I want nothing to do with the belt. What did I tell Ness? Ness, that's what his mouth says, but I'm telling you, he's gonna need them, right? He's just acting like, oh, I don't need you. And Ness was like, nah, round one. Dana White is not fucking with the belts. What's that? For a man that's not fucking with the belts, bro, it seems like you're in bed with the IBF a lot. Dio Pataya, Richard Hitchens, fucking last night the IBF with McKenna. Someone that says, "Oh no, bro," because I can see this. I see Dana White's approach. It's clear as day to me. You say you don't want something because you really want that, so you're trying to make that thing come to you. Yo, and then Max, right? For shout out to Rick Glazier. Rick Glazier called out Max Kellerman on his bullshit, right? Right? Rick Glazier said that boy's completely sold out. And they said what I thought. They said some dude Paul had texted in. Shout out to uh BT school, right? He had Rick Glazier on. I caught his little interview. And some dude texts in the chat and shit, some Paul dude and shit texts in the chat, and he had alluded to the fact of what I thought, that Max Kellerman he has to read off a prompt monitor. He has a script. Um, they basically tell him these are the key points you need to talk about. Use your own wording, but we need you to back up this point, this guy, this, do for boxing, right? I don't think they have a script like word for word of what he's supposed to say. They know that he has a good mind. So, what key points is what I believe they tell him in the meeting before the fights. Look, we got to promote this guy, this, Zuffa that. Now that I think that's what's going on. Then Max kind of fills in the blanks with his own professional analysis and years of experience. He knows how to like spin things. That's exactly what I think is going on. Glazer said, nope, he lost his fucking mind. He completely sold out. Yo, I was laughing, right? I was like, yo, now Rick is the type of man that he dedicated his life to boxing, right? He's the type of guy that knows so much about and it has experienced, himself hands on, been around, talked to, negotiated with. He's been in the game for a long time, you know. And for men like that, to see, like and call Max out on a lot of his bullshit, like Max, they were making fun of Max, right? He said one of the things Max said was, I've been waiting since I was a child for Zuffa boxing to come around. Like, get for you, for the kid. Man, I can't wait for Zuffa. Bitch, fuck, yo, hey, Max pours it on too thick and like really thick. And it's just getting a bit it's a bit embarrassing to, because if you know Max's history, his brother was a boxer. His brother was killed one fateful night by a former boxer. Yeah. If you didn't know that. Max's brother. Think that dude is doing like a life sentence or some shit. The other guy. And the other guy, they both were boxers and shit. And Max actually called like the dude's fight that end up killing his brother. At the time, he didn't kill his brother, but they knew each other and shit. And comes around from a long, like, and then he veered away from the sport. He went into like football, basketball, and when Rick Glazer started saying that shit about Max, he says, "Yo, I don't think he's reading off a prime monitor. I think Max really is just he has this site like this opinion and he lost his mind." And then it made me think back to his days in the NFL for Brady. That man basically got kicked off because of all the years of him saying, this is the cliff. Tom Brady's fallen off the cliff the next year. Well, when I made my assessment about the cliff, I didn't mean that it was a cliff that went straight down. It went boom, 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 and then the next year, well, the cliff is more like a curve, and Tom Brady's gonna fall off the curve, and then no, Tom Brady made that man look so bad, and like the world knows it. So if he lost his mind for football, who was paying him to read off a prompt monitor versus against the GOAT? I think they were just letting him like, oh, you want to say that about Tom Brady? Then go ahead. Let him be the idiot. No, don't tell him nothing. Right? So if he did it over there and he came back to boxing, Rick Glazer might be right. I think this is exactly what he thinks now. I he might not be reading off a prime monitor, man. He just might knows how to sell out. That's it. He's just listen. Let me tell you something. That mechanic dude, he's gonna probably lose that belt on the first defense. That dude, he was chalking him up. Carlos Adames is leaving, this, that, and the third. I was sitting here and I'm saying to myself, he's actually saying a strong case to say McKenna is probably the best middleweight in the world. You have a strong case. I was sitting here. I wanted to rip my eyes out. Could not believe what he was. He was fucking up the Zuffa card because the Zuffa card was actually doing good by itself. Those McKenna brothers was holding down. Listen, big bro, he already had the name popping. Little bro goes out there and wins the belt. You didn't need that much to sell it. Max, he fucking did the most. He was piling and all piling. And and I could see Andrew Ward, bro. He was just the shit that was coming out of Max's mouth. Andre Ward kept like he was well, yeah, well, anyway, the jab is looking good for him. You know what I mean? Max was saying, there's a strong argument for Canada to be the best middleweight in the world, right? And then this is Andre Ward. And the jab's looking good. Yeah, yeah. And you could see that he ties up right here in the clinch. And Andre Ward would not co-sign that bullshit. He wasn't stamping it. Yo, let me read y'all chats. Hold up. Let me catch up to yo. Shout out to Mr. Miyagi in the chat. What's up? Who this right here? You got Bull Riders in the building. I ain't even gonna try. Zufar was good. Don't start hating. Oh my God! Here we go! Here we go! Here we go! Like I said. Like I said. Okay. Yeah, he was tripping. Yeah, like I said. You thought I was gonna hate on the Zuffa card because I'm going up and reading your message, so you probably heard my viewpoints. Like the Zuffa card was good. It was good. And I had an entertain. Yo, I was watching the fights. Yo, every fight was back and forth, bro. It was the Zuffa card. I thought there was nothing wrong. I was like, when I went back and heard what the commentating, Max Kellerman. That's my only issue with the card. That was it. So I'm just touching on your question on the top. I probably was talking. You probably figured it out. Like, nah, he's not hating on the card. What he's talking about is what they were saying about the card, that Max didn't need to do that. The card was good enough by itself. Bro, that knockout, he lifted that man off his feet. That's going on fucking knockout of the year contender. It's gotta be. Bro, he picked him up. Wait, hey, yo. Oh, listen, and I want to share this with you guys. I want to share this with you guys. Thank the Lord, right? That I didn't even realize, right? My eyes are so bad, right? I didn't even realize that this was all Irish dudes. They was all Irish dudes, right? Because I didn't have no head thing, right? So sometimes the flags be fucking me up. The Italian flag, the Irish one, and the Mexican one, because they're like all colors but backwards or some shit, or one's lighter faded than the other, and shit like that. So I really didn't pay attention to. But if my wife would have caught on to that, yo, she would have, my wife is Irish. She would have jumped into her Irish fighting stand, like this, right? She'd have been talking all cash shit. If she catches wind of that knockout, misses round one, bro, she's gonna talk so much shit. So I am so glad I didn't utter the Irish words, because whatever it is, Irish, she be on that shit. Leo, I don't even want to put out the video where her talking about Amanda Serrano and Katie. Yo, listen, and my wife is like, she's not even a boxing fan. She knows nothing about boxing. She can't tell you what a jab is. What's the headgear? I don't know. Right? Right? It's just whenever her people, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, Irish people can be doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's just pride. That's just pride. And I get it. Yo, so I'm Puerto Rican, she's Irish, right? So of course I can't talk to her in the Latin language. You know what I'm saying? Right? But but whatever it is with the Irish, bro, listen, she dumps into her little Irish stand like this. Yo, it's so funny. Yo, if she sees that shit, if she ever catches wind of that kind of knockout, oh, she gonna be the best fighters in the world. She'll start talking shit. Yo, so it's just hilarious, right? And the Zuffa card itself, man, there was a lot of, Scotland, Irish against the Brits. You know what I'm saying? UK. Hey, yo, Mr. Miyagi, y'all down bad. Yo, nah, but you know, you guys are really not because I think that fight went the distance. That one went one of them. Well, the top one went the distance, right? They might have been ones lower on the lower, but a lot of countries competed, and it was great to watch. It was great to watch. It was great to get more familiar with the McKenna brothers, and learn about them and learn. And Zuffa provided that. Zuffa is going to provide a lot of good cards. Hammer hands. I want to see where he goes. Who they gonna. You know what I'm saying? Like fighters like that because you know, uh, see, the cards were good. The Zuffa card was good. It was the commentary for me, bro. I want to see fighters like Hammer Hands back in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Because it le conviene. That what I meant was it's for him. Zuffa is for fighters like that. So you can build yourself up there and then go to boxing. Well, and then now it's looking like maybe Hammer Hands can really start our future there, right? Because we're letting guys compete for world titles. McKenna's the IBF champion. He signed with Zoo. You're gonna have to go to Zoo for boxing to fight him for that belt. I don't know. Maybe for the right money, they know pimp you out. I mean, ain't Connor Ben and Ryan Garcia fighting somewhere else? Connor Ben did fight Regis Progress in Riyadh, right? See, Zuffa's complicated, bro. They complicate. I don't know what their structure is. I don't know how that all that the ins and outs. It's just not making sense because it's true. Dana White has been saying, I don't want to fuck with the belts, but it seems like it's all you do. So I'm not gonna sit here and say these scenarios when I'm not 100 on that. I don't know how McKenna's run's gonna. He's got like 9 months on that IBF right now for mandatory. So he just won it. So he's got like 9 months. So he or whatever. Maybe. I'll get back to you on that one. Yeah, he should. Right. And then I don't listen, guys. Where do you where would you place him? Aaron McKenna. Um, I mean, Adam, Carlos Adames is leaving. If I was Carlos Adames, I'd stick around for that fight. It'd be a unification. You got the opportunity to be one of the in this era, a Dominican champion with 2 belts. Maybe you might want to think about struggling to make that weight. It might be worth the risk, the sacrifice. For Carlos Adames. I mean, decisions have already been made to this point because nobody knew, McKenna was going to beat everybody to the belt, the IBF. And you don't got to worry about the IBF rehydration clause with Carlos Adames because it X's out because it's a unification. See what I'm saying? And as far as Dominican boxing, Dominican boxing has been the Dominican fans, they have been looking and searching for that guy to come out and carry the torch for Dominican boxing. And if he can get 2 belts, uh, uh, um, Carlos Adames, that would be really big. That would be really big, and for Latin boxing too, as well. You know, yeah, bro. Might want to. I look. I heard everything with Carlos. and the transition moving up, and him talking about struggling to make the weight. I know about all that. I know about that, but where there's risk, there's opportunity, there's reward. Um, Start focusing now, and you should have been in the gym and shit, and like take a chance. I think that would be a good chance for Dominican boxing. Now that's totally up to Carlos. I talk about these scenarios, but I also acknowledge that way before this kid became the IBF champion, Carlo and his team had already made decisions. There has been already fights talked up and stuff and opportunities but if anything, it's not like sketched in stone. And you can spin the block. I'd spin the block for this kid. Carlos can beat the shit out of this dude. McKenna was okay. He was good. He smothered a lot of his work. Um, he had a good jab, but he really wasn't bringing that kind of power or snap to his punches. Not like Max Kellerman was saying. Like Max Kellerman was talking like he was in awe. Like he had never seen a fighter with such remarkable skills. That was the message he was pushing to the world. You had a strong case to say that right now there is no fighter up there that is better than McKenna. And I'm just like, huh? What are you talking about? Like, listen, I they think whoa, 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 whoa. I, look, I sometimes I try to figure out what Max Kellerman is like alluding to. And I kind of want to, like, I'm sitting here arguing with myself saying, come on, Edwin, maybe he sees a different angle, view it in a different light, right? McKenna will get wiped down by Amari Jones, bro. And I'm talking wipe down by Amari Jones. This guy is talking him up like he's never seen anything like it. He has a strong case of saying he's the greatest fucking middleweight, blah, 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 blah. You heard it. And I'm telling you right now, Amari Jones is the number one for the IBF. I think he doesn't have to fight Amari Jones for like 9 months. So in between there, he can have a fight. The minute Amari Jones becomes his mandatory, he can't run no more, his belt run is over. It's over with. McKenna's gonna lose to Amari Jones. Watch. Man, listen. And that's what I was like, Max, chill the fuck out. In my head, I was like watching it, hearing it. I was like, yo, Max, slow down, bro. Like, chill out, bro. Let McKenna be McKenna because you're gonna make the fans argue your points behind him. He didn't ask for you to say all that. Although he's probably flattered that you said that about him, McKenna, right? And it might make him seem like proud, but the real boxing hardcores, they're gonna question that. And now you brought McKenna into an argument he didn't ask to be in. He didn't ask for all that kind of praise and glazing. Like you added it on too thick for the kid. The kid was doing fine by himself. As far as the kid's performance, shout out to him. He won the fight. He won the fight. And the brother shined. So you could have left it right there and they would have carried the Zuffa card just fine, Max. Just fine. There was nothing wrong with the card, bro. There was back and forth action. Coils was fighting, bro. Remember Coils got that eye cut right on the bottom. He was fighting Berkeley, right? And that fight was back and forth. Boom, 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 boom. It was skin. I mean, the card was good. I'm not gonna say it was decent. It was better than decent. The card was good. It was there was excitement. knockout of the year contention. Yo, bro, they knocked out the Irish Saul Canelo Alvarez. Yo, bootleg version of Saul. The redheaded said, but for Irish, it really doesn't work that much. And for like the Scottish and shit, because a lot of them is redhead already. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny. And like I said it in the live, I was like, who's this Canelo Alvarez looking? Right? Because Canelo is that redheaded dude that was Mexican. And, everybody always had jokes. They redheaded stepchild, Saul and shit. And still, until he started kicking ass. Right? And then I was never cool with the dudes that call him Cinnamon. That sound too. Hey, yo, Cinnamon. Like, bro, his name is Canelo. We say it in Latin for a reason. You know what I'm saying? All that cinnamon shit, bro. That shit sounds sweet. Like, yo, chill, right? Grown ass man calling another man cinnamon. Like, what's wrong with you, right? Yo, I never got those dudes, right? Like they didn't figure it out, bro. Like, in a minute, like, yo, don't say that shit again. Call him Canelo for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, it's shit that's just like telling a joke in another country is it doesn't sound right in America, does it? If you know a joke in your native tongue and you were to translate it to English, is the joke funny? Probably not. Probably not. It's the same way with like nicknames and phrases. You say it in English, nah, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's like it's like saying fist pump, right? In that movie, Hail Mary, and he says fist pump, and the little dude says bump fist. And he's like bump fist. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing, bro. You know what I mean? So I never got those dudes, but you know, um, he knocked him the hell out, bro. That was a good clean knockout right there. And like I said, it's probably gonna go down for knockout of the year. We have a few knockout of the year contenders so far. Shit, Nick Ball got knocked out of the ring, right? He got slumped. He was like this on the side of the ring. You see that? Who else? What are some of the knockouts we can remember right now? Some of the best knockouts of 2026 so far. What do we got? What do we got? What can I remember? Man, everything's kind of like eluding me right now. Let me go down and catch up to you guys. Um, um, Round one. What's up with Max Kellerman? I don't know. It's been turning in what? Oh yeah, play the clip. Play the clip. Hey, yo, listen. Um, you're too funny. Fucking, I could only imagine the reaction. Irish boxing making noise round one. I got you. I just wish Tim Bradley was commentating when that guy. Mr. Miyagi. Yo, listen. Oh man, this. I think that's what's hurting the sport of boxing. The commentating. I think the bias commentating is what's hurting because there was nothing wrong with the card, in my opinion. Zuffa boxing, as far as the boxing card goes, shout out to you guys. You guys, the matchmakers got it right. They put some exciting fights on, and I was entertained. I have nothing to say about the fucking card. Commentating, that's a different story. That man lost his mind. That man lost his mind. That was just, I'm trying to tell you, man. For a guy that's been around the game for that long, you would think. I saw Rich Glazers just say, bro, I don't think he's reading off a prompt monitor. I think that man just really lost his mind. And Max is completely sold out. And like I said, I had an awesome time when I was calling the fights. You know, I didn't even stick around to watch the whole Zuffa card. At some point, I got so hungry, I completely lost track. I was talking about other shit. You know, I was like, man, I'll just watch that Zuffa shit, you know, and I'll just keep watching it. There was more fights. The ladies fought that night. Um, you know, and I was watching boxing and shit, but wasn't anything that I was like gonna be writing home, like, oh shit, this fucking you know what I mean? Wasn't that tight, wasn't that serious for me. It's an entity that's in boxing that is proving themselves. You know, fight after fight card, fight at you know, what was it, Zuffa 10? And I'm supposed to like what? Act like when my girlfriend gets her nails done, she comes home to show me her nails, and I think she expects me to be like, color and fucking just start dying, throwing myself on the floor or something. And she shows me her nails, and I go, huh? And she gets mad. You don't like 'em? You blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, bro, what am I supposed to do? Oh shit, is that fucking purple, lilac, orange, debato? Like what color? Like makeup a color? Like, oh, I've never look at the detail and the way she laid out your nail polish. What is the women want us to do? Like, right? And it's like these situations. Like, okay, you got Zuffa 10. Okay. And what am I supposed to do here? Act like I never seen that on BoxRec? Act like I never seen that actually in boxing. Oh, Max Kellerman says, I can't, you know, since I was a child, I've been waiting for Zuffa boxing to come around and give a structure. And these guys fight each other actually. Fuck are you talking about, Max? We fought each other back then. We fought each other a lot. What are you talking? Like Zuffa's bringing? No, this is this era. Max, you make no sense, bro. What is wrong with this guy? What do you mean? We was fighting every fucking weekend back then. Dudes was bubbled the fuck up, bro. Is Max okay? Must be. You on that, you know, that good. Yo, Max, he's been saying the most ridiculous shit trying to sell it to you. Like this Zuffa, what they're doing has never happened. No, no. Back then we used to fight each other. Max, what is wrong? That's all boxing's argument now. That this era is soft because back then we used to fight each other. According to Max Kellerman, Zuffa is the thing that's going to save boxing because it's adding structure and it's actually getting the guys to fight each other. This has never happened. This is unprecedented in the sport of boxing. What do you mean this has never happened? Man, are you okay, Max? Yo, he be saying the most outlandish shit. And then you would think of who he is, no one would question him. You see, because this is definitive proof, definitive proof that boxing is the only sport in the world where you can say some outlandish shit and no one would lift an eyelid. No one would question it ever. Wasn't Max Kellerman the one that told you Manny Pacquiao was an 8 division world champion? And that he gave you this whole story? Look who gave you that story. Go back and question that story. Do your own research on your own homework and get back to me. I'm not going to change your mind on anything. I encourage you to do your own research. You're going to see that Max Kellerman was full of shit then too. In fact, it's turning out to be everything he's been saying of recent years. That man completely sold out. One, like completely. He lost his mind. He's giving you his opinion backed by years of experience. Because his name has been around in a lot of circles, I guess people wouldn't question what he's saying. Because a lot of people got him stamped in the sport of boxing, and rightfully so. He's been around for a long time. He's a very smart guy. Very. Why is he like this? Why does he always try to push his beliefs onto the people? What he believes McKenna is. You keep that belief to yourself and just call the fight. That's what you're there for. No, but you're pushing your belief about this fighter with your name backing it. Now, that, my friends, is bullshit. That's where I call him out on. No, why don't you just call the fight? Fucking Zuffa fighters did not need your help. The card was not struggling. It's not like we got to the main event and all the fights were fucking bullshit. And he needed to think of something to, because that's what commentators do. Whenever the action is lackluster, the commentators, they try to pick it up to keep the fans engaged. That's their job. What the fuck was wrong with the Zuffa card? But you had to embellish so much. What was wrong with it? You poured it on too thick, my man. It was like I felt bad for Andre Ward sitting there. Having a man that really went in there and fought and can see the talent. And he's like, McKenna, he's the best middleweight. No one's ever gonna beat him. And blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, bro, I think Omari Jones will beat the shit out of him. I'm sorry. And you want to know something? Nah, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because it's like there's a part of me that's like mad at McKenna because that's the fighter you used. And I'm trying to like back away from that because this is not McKenna's fault. He actually went out there and did his job. And he did it to the best of his ability. Give the fucking kid his credit. Look how young he is. Right? So I'm sitting here and I'm just saying to myself, you know, I, I don't want to be like, you know, bashing this kid. Devin Haney is 27 years old. Eshawn's 27 years old. Kenna, they 27 years old. Fucking, there's a lot of young fight. These guys are still in their 20s, man. They're young, bro. So he's gonna have, time to try to put something together. And shout out to you for winning the belt. And I wish you a ton of success. The Irish guys, the Irishmen stand up. You guys Irish is up right now. You guys had a great card. I believe the majority of the Irish fighters won, besides when it was like Irish against Irish fighter, like that. That kind of like takes it out. But when they competed against other countries, I think for the night they did good. And they got a world title. The shout out to the Irish dudes out there. Shout out to Mrs. Round One. My wife, she's Irish. She's gonna love this. I joke about it, but I'm gonna be the one to show her the knockout because I get a kick out of her talking shit. She told you we're the best. Right? Yo. Anything. Y'all can kick a fucking soccer ball. If it goes in the net, it goes crazy, right? And so uh and she likes the Bengals in football. She doesn't know one player. She just likes the uniform, the the Tiger uniform. Every year she cheers. Every year at the beginning of the year, she tells me we're gonna win the Super Bowl this year. And I was like, no, honey, you're a Bengal fan. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. I thought Joe Burrow was gonna do that, but hey, it didn't work out. But anyway, yeah, so Dre, I hope what? I hope not, man. I was listening to him Saturday and it oh Kellerman? Not man. I was listening to him Saturday and it was frustrating me. Max had me sold for a second. Yeah, man. Listen, Max definitely, man. And that's what I mean because of who he is. He's made a lot of stories. Remember, he used to work for ESPN and he did a lot of stories. And now you think back to everything that Max Kellerman told you. And you're like, wait a minute, you're going to have to question that shit. You're going to have to question it. See, Max Kellerman, I don't want to bring this up because I'm not taking no shots of the great, GOAT, legendary Filipino fighter, Manny Pacquiao. There is no other like him. Okay? Um, he is a legend. Legend. But Max drags these guys into these conversations. Manny Pacquiao did not ask for this. Kenna did not ask for that. You brought them into this, and now we got to discredit what you said about these guys. And it seems to put us in a position where it looks like we're doubting the guy. Why? Because we're questioning what you say? Manny Pacquiao didn't need your help, Max Kellerman. Manny Pacquiao is a fucking GOAT. The hell does he need you to embellish on his record for? You did that by yourself to Manny. And it's shame on you, Max, not Manny. Manny didn't call Max and say, hey, make up this fake story about 8th division world champion. And I want you to do that because I got knocked out. Max said, I got you, Manny. That didn't happen. Max took it upon himself to say, one of boxing stars fell and he wanted to be like, nah, I'm gonna help Manny. Like fucking kissing the Manny. And end up backfiring years later on Manny because of what you did, Max. Manny Pacquiao didn't do that. You did. And then people like me, right? I'm all like, I saw that ESPN thing. I'm over here in my living room punching like, oh shit, Manny Pacquiao is Superman. That's Superman shit right there to get 8 belts and 8 divisions. That doesn't even compute in my head. When like the greatest fighters in the world, Floyd, he can only get 5. Naomi Inoue only can get 4. Canelo Alvarez, Julio Cesar, the greatest fighters. And all of a sudden, this one guy gets 8. Man, I found that like extraordinary. I was like, this dude is fucking Superman. Have you ever heard something in life when you know about something? You're a professional at it, right? I can say, at least I'm a pro in boxing. I have enough experience. Not a historian, not a legend. I don't have 40-year eye. No, but I know enough, right? So I'm a pro in it. I'm not a fucking like a super pro, but not a champion in it yet, but a pro, right? A contender. I'm a contender, right? And analytics. So when you go and you say this and you make these stories up, bro, and you feed them to a person like me, to a casual, boxing's the only sport, like I said, you can say the most outlandish shit. Nobody will question it. Nobody. You can't do that in the NBA. You can't say LeBron James got 8 rings today. The fucking internet will fucking shut down. Everybody would where the fuck these 8 show me the championship? Yo, they'll flip. You can't just say that. You could say it in boxing and you can get away with it. Bro, Max Kellerman did this to me. I was a victim of his reporting. Round 1. You know what I actually went to do? I went to back him up on his story with his analytics because I got tired of people saying, yo, that Manny Pacquiao shit sound like the OGs. That shit ain't true. And I was like, why are you guys hating on Manny Pacquiao, bro? Didn't you just hear Max Kellerman fucking make the breakdown? As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back up Max Kellerman's research and I'm going to prove it to you guys. Max Kellerman knows what he's talking about. And at the end of my research, I was like, Max, you fucking asshole. I walked in, he led me right into a wall. Max. In actuality, that's what he did to me. His story on ESPN is what led me to argue with people that told me I didn't know what I was talking about, that led me to look for my research, that made me get that chart, that I went into the archives and looked up every weight division, every belt. And I realized Manny Pacquiao only has belts in 6 divisions. And I was like, oh, Max Kellerman. And bro, Manny Pacquiao never asked for that. Max Kellerman did that to boost him back up because he felt like it was his obligation to help boxing. Embellish a little. You can do that in boxing. Embellish a little, 8 divisions, bro. Bro, that's Superman shit. There's never been a human in the world who can achieve that. Now, might be able to get minimal belts. That's not that hard to do. You mean major world titles in 8 where you fought the best champions in the world, young champion, just 8? Now, come on, bro. Come on, man. There's not a human alive that can do that. Shit, the great Terrence Crawford with 3 divisions, 4 belts, he only got up to 5. He was only able to manage to do 5 in 20 years. Mayweather only got 5 in 20 years. But somehow this dude got 8. Max Kellerman did that to all of us. He did that to all of us. And I was a victim of his reporting. And Manny Pacquiao never asked for any of that. He's better than Floyd as it comes to divisions. He has 6, legit. And Floyd didn't do that. Floyd got 5. Oscar De La Hoya got 6 belts in 6 weight divisions. There's only, I think, 2 men in the world or 3 men in the world that have 6. That's the top in all the book. 6 divisions. World titles in 6 divisions. That's the top of the food chain. I don't think there's a man alive in history that ever got 7. No. Hector Camacho got belts in 7. He has 3 major world titles and 4 minor. You can do 7 divisions like that. You can have 4 minor because at the end of a lot of these legends' careers, their experience is enough to beat a fucking amateur fighter for a minimal belt. You would be putting in like a legend in against an amateur, and then he would win a minor world title. That's not hard to do. It's not very hard to do after you got such an experienced guy at the end of his career. You understand? But now get 7 major world titles where you're fighting the real champions. That, my friends, now that is something to behold. Just think about it. The greatest fighters in the world, not even Ali, do some shit like that. But all of a sudden, this guy, he's Superman. And that's what you were fed? By who? Max. He did all of this. I want you to remember, Manny Pacquiao didn't ask for this. That dude is a fucking legend. A GOAT. Okay? He's a fucking first time Hall of Famer, ballot. He is. He is the real deal, Manny Pacquiao. He's the real deal. He's like at the top of the food chain, right? He didn't ask for any of that shit. He didn't. Nothing. And all this scrutiny and all this debate that's coming down on him because of you. You did this. And now he was calling the Zuffa card just the other night, and Zuffa card was kicking off just fine, in my opinion, without that bias commentating. That shit was kicking off just fine, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was watching the fight, right? I want to watch the fight, so I was on the live. Y'all saw me. I got receipts, right? Like you guys saw. I started talking about other things and stuff, and I'm watching the fight from my side, right? When I seen the McKenna brother punch the dude and his foot lifted off the canvas, yo, let me tell you something, right? I thought it was fake. I was like, hold up, this dude had to be a super tomato can, right? The guy he knocked out. Apparently, wasn't he undefeated? Was the dude he knocked out undefeated? Did I get that right? Because I didn't have no audio. So at the time, um, yo, when I caught that from the side, right, because first I saw the knockdown, right? And then I had to see the instant replay. I had to see when I saw his foot lift off the ground, I was like, oh shit, that's a cartoon knockout. When's the last time you seen somebody get knocked out in pro boxing like that? Like, when like you see it, but you don't give it credit because they would be like too many levels apart. The guy comes in the ring like this, like right, and then he gets knocked down. You're like, no, but this dude was good. He's not good. The guy wasn't good. He was good enough to know how to defend himself, to put up his gloves, to snap jabs. He was in there in his face, exchanging punches. He was good enough for that. You can't say like you guys took a YMCA guy or some guy out of the boys club, put him in front of McKenna's brother, and he fucking knocked the guy out. And then you wouldn't give it so much credit. But the guy he was fighting was actually boxing, like fighting him back. So, and then the way he pieced him up, he hit him with that first shot, he froze him. And then he just laid into him, bro. Just laid into him, man. That I think was just the best moment in the fight. Tell me, guys, right now, since we're talking about the Zuffa card, tell me, guys, who do you guys think? I mean, what fight for you was the best fight on the card? Whether it was competitive wise or you're more of a knockout guy and you enjoyed the knockout, the violence of it all. Like, type in the chat right now. What fight on the Zuffa card, in fact, like, see, if people claim that they had a great time and that the Zuffa card, in fact, they had a good product, right? Okay. Tell me about their product. If you were entertained and you like what you saw, then talk to me about it then. Or do you still don't even know the guys' names? Are you happen to be a family member that is associated with Zuffa, or you don't want to act like you were led astray? Were you really entertained? How invested were you into the Zuffa fight? And what fight on the card was the best fight for you? Like, this was the best action fight. This was the most explosive fight because of the knockout or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And just tell me. Because if a lot of people want to come up and say just fine, and there's nothing wrong with it. You just want to come up and say, "No, Zuffa's the best," and walk off. All right, cool. But the best, why? What did Zuffa bring? And I'm not technically comparing them. I'm just laying down a foundation where you can think. What did Zuffa do that's better than Box Lab? Like, the Tiger Johnsons that fought there, the Najee Lopez's that fought there, the fighters, that Roman Cardenas that come out of pro box. Those guys are out there getting knockouts. Roman Cardenas starched that dude. Najee Lopez came back where he showed his grit, his fortitude. He was knocked down in the fight. I see what Pro Box got. That's gladiator school. It always has been. If you can fight your way out of Pro Box, that's always been the same. You're gonna make it as a professional boxer. It was like the academy for fucking warrior school. Pro Box. This is Zuffa 10. 10 people. Zuffa 10. And not all 10 cards were bangers. Jairo Pataya went 12 rounds. Richard Hitchens. So don't sit here and tell me that all the fights on their cards were amazing. 10 fucking cards. In your mind, they surpassed Pro Box? Is that what you're saying? I'm asking you questions. That's it. I might be a little sarcastic. Excuse my humor or my sarcasm, but I'm being dead serious. I'm being dead serious. If you haven't noticed, whenever a person like me gets angry, upset, or anything, I smile. Yeah. The guys never liked when I punched them in the face when I was smiling. They always like, we want to wipe that smile off your face. I don't know what it is. Crack a smile. You know what I mean? I don't know why. So don't take it like that. I'm being serious. And I'm asking you a general question. Zuffa with 10 fight cards. 10. 10 fight cards. They're better than Box Lab? Pro Box? With only 10 cards, they have surpassed whatever they have given you in fights. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's be honest. Please. You know what I'm saying? Let's chill out. Let's chill out. And listen, I love what Zuffa's doing. I love what they're doing. I like their cars. I had an entertaining time. I am not taking shots at them. I am merely pointing out what they actually are. They're a new entity in the sport of boxing. I'm excited that they're here. Okay. I want to see their product. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Right? A bit confusing from the outside. I'm a bit confused on you don't want to fight for the belts. You're suing the belts, but you're fighting for the belts. Your guy fighting Zuffa attire, the guys you sign over here don't have to. Edgar Berlanga, Richard Hitchens, Conor Ben. You could sign up with other promoters to make mega fights like Ryan Garcia. And McKenna got the IBF, but he has Zuffa's trunks on. I'm a bit confused on the particulars. Still, a little foggy. Say one thing, we're not fucking with the belts. But you're fighting for the belts. Zuffa belts will be in attendance. McKenna will be fighting for the Zuffa World Championship, according to what Max Kellerman fed you leading into the fight. After the fight, where was the Zuffa belt? I missed it. Was it that big? What'd you do? Where was it? I told you they weren't going to allow you that. But people like Max Kellerman, look what they do. He has a bigger voice than I do. But when I told you exactly what was going to happen, thank God y'all come here and, you know what I'm saying, kick it with round one. We could all talk boxing. Because that shit right there, what he's doing, that's just wrong. It's just wrong. And I think that it's actually hurting Zuffa at this point. You're embellishing it a little too much. The Ring Magazine belt. Who told you, Max Kellerman, that the Ring Magazine belt out of nowhere became the most prestigious belt in all of boxing next to what? The Zuffa belt, according to who? Max Kellerman. And we got up here and we argued back and forth. And I was telling you, How the fuck is this man saying that about the Ring Magazine belt, where never in boxing history, not at one point in time, ever, has the Ring Magazine belt ever been an official world champion? It's been viewed as one. We as the people, remember the Ring Magazine was the people's champion. We told the champion, wear it proudly. The guy that's the real champion is avoiding and ducking you, and we the people deem you the champion. We made the Ring Magazine. And at one point in time, it stood for that. Then it fluctuated its popularity throughout the years. It went from that to the best fighting the best. Well, that's now. Oscar de la Hoya's, whoever was the most popular when he owned it. See, the Ring Magazine belt varied in the last 3 years since Turkey's owned it. All of a sudden, what? Just because it's been around for a long time, that Ring Magazine got history. There's legacy on that belt. Many champions had that fucking. The Rocky movie made it the most popular. It's been around forever. It's like that one thing that's been around with all the big dogs, but never was officially. And Max Kellerman, who told you the Ringside Magazine belt was better than all these belts? Max Kellerman. Another outlandish bullshit story. How do you combat that with facts? Okay, if the Ring Magazine was better than all these belts, and I've explained this, when Tio had the WBO, only one belt, and he had the ring, was he a unified world champion? Yes or no? No. So if the Ring Magazine doesn't give you status as a champion, this is a 4-belt era, not a 5-belt era. Where does the Ring Magazine come in to make you a champion? And when has it ever in the history of boxing made you a world champion? When? It's only the best fighting the best, the tough guy, the guy that knocks off the other guy. You can give it whatever name you want, but you know what name you can't call it? World Championship. You got the tough man belt, the BBF. You got the BBF, baddest motherfucker belt. Okay, you got that. But that still doesn't say world championship. We're not in a 5-belt era. So if your belt doesn't give me the recognition of a world championship, how the fuck is it better than a championship? How? When Tyson Fury had the literal and the Ringside Magazine belt, and he was saying when he came back out of retirement, was he a champion? Did he have a belt? He kept saying he had the literal, the ring, he had it. But who was the champions of the heavyweight division at the time? When he was making his comeback. You see, that belt doesn't give you championship status. Who told you it's better? Max Kellerman. And now you're starting to go back and you're like questioning all the stories he ever told you. And his reporting analytics in boxing is going down the shit. Max Kellerman. It's going to shit. And there's a fine line between the truth and a lie. Right? And here at Round One Sports Talk, I want to be frank with you. I want to tell you the truth about a lie. Okay? Listen, not all the time the truth will set you free. That is not, that statement alone is not true. It's not. You know why? Because I have met men, and I myself have been in a position where I was confronted with the truth. But the truth didn't fit my scenario. The truth, I didn't want to acknowledge the truth. Although the truth was laid out, right? There are men in this world that you will confront them with the truth. Here it is. Boom, 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 boom. They turn around, look at you. Bury him with the truth. We're going to continue on the lie because the lie is more convenient for my cause. Not everybody accepts the truth. So I just want you to know that even though this is the truth, I still know there will be people that will push back and try, they'll play semantics. They'll say Max Kellerman lost his mind in this story, but in this story, he was telling the truth. That's how they'll do. And I want you to know that not everyone that is told the truth will accept it. Shit, there's people right now that hear me say the Ring Magazine belt is not the most prestige, and they'll fucking, oh, let's stop watching him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Why? Because just because you tell the truth doesn't mean that people are going to accept it. They rather live in the lie. Because the lie is a better story for them. I couldn't live in the lie with Manny Pacquiao, but I understood it was never his fault. This is what they said about him. And they even got him to believe it. Type shit. And Max told a lot of stories. And in order to keep Max's credibility up, you're gonna say that he's telling the truth about this, but lying about all this. And just because you get something wrong doesn't mean that your credibility as a reporter falls to the wayside. Shit, I get a lot of things wrong, but I keep learning. So you can misspeak, misquote, or get a stat or person wrong, but to create an entire story on something you knew is wrong, no, you're not misquoting or misspeaking at that point. You're fabricating a story. There's a difference. Now you're a liar. You understand? I might get things wrong or didn't get the right place or, things like that, but that's me. Sometimes I'll misspeak or, say something I wasn't all completely aware of, but that's an honest mistake. I didn't sit here and fucking embellish an entire story or a situation or talk up a guy that it's not him. Now you're just lying. And there's the difference between someone getting something wrong and someone lying about something. And the truth doesn't always set you free. It doesn't. That saying is wrong to me. You ever hear something in life and you mistranslate it in the wrong way? Like I remember when I was younger, I used to hear that phrase, keep your friends close, but your enemy even closer. For a long time, I thought that was like my fucking enemy. Like my real, like I had to pay attention to my enemy. Until one day I was slapped right in my face with that saying. It just came to me one day. I would say, keep your friends close, but your enemy even closer. You need your friends close to block you away from bullshit and to help you guide you through your life. Keep your friends close, your real friends, the people you value as friends. Keep them close to you because you're going to need them later in life. The greatest enemy is yourself. When it says, but watch your greatest enemy even closer, that's you. They weren't talking about an actual enemy that was out there, but keep your like I'm out here watching my enemy's every movement. No, your greatest enemy is yourself. When I viewed it like that, I was like, if I check all my bad behaviors, if I start recognizing my downfalls, my greatest enemy is me. And I got to get myself to stop hanging around here, doing this, doing that. And as long as I keep my friends, my good friends around me, Ed, don't go back over here to the block. Don't do this. Everything else would fall in place. Keep your friends close, but your enemy even closer. You are your greatest enemy. You don't need anyone to get you in trouble. You'll make bad decisions, right decisions all by yourself. And when I viewed it like that, I stood back and I was like, yeah, I don't think he was talking about like your real enemy. See, I think I said a little bit different, man. As for myself, and when I view these things, I understand that I give dudes benefit of the doubts, like the Bill Haney's of the world and shit. I'll be like, that motherfucker got a big mouth, but he's actually doing his job. You understand? So, and things like that, like, you know, I, I'm just saying that sometimes you will be confronted with the truth in life. And people ain't always going to accept it now, will they? Yo, Edwin, what up? All facts, my dude. How you guys doing in the building? Hey, yo, where's Frontline? I don't know where Frontline is. Frontline, you know what I'm saying? Mhm. There's one ring belt. There's two WBA belts. What? The regular and the super. And that's why, my friends, BoxRec doesn't take the WBA serious. They won't acknowledge it. BoxRec doesn't want no part of the WBA shenanigans. How are you going to have two simultaneous champions in and all the weight divisions? Who's your real champion? You have to have a world champion and a regular or an interim. The both can't be considered. Once the WBA said, nope, 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 we're considering them both. Devontae Davis is a world champion when Devin Haney had all four belts. And BoxRec said, you fucking lost your mind, WBA, and scratched them out of their website. No WBA champion record, anything that has affiliation with WBA history is no longer on BoxRec and has not been for quite some time. It's a damn shame. The WBA was the first belt from Panama. Off the WBA in 1920s, when they came out, there was the NBA, whatever it was, NABO, whatever. That's what the WBA originally was. Then it turned into the WBA. The WBA, the people spun off, made the WBC. From the WBC came the IBF. But the WBC is from Mexico, and the IBF is from New Jersey. The WBA, Panama, and the WBO is from Puerto Rico. The Top Rank. It's amazing that Top Rank always be fucking with the WBO, the Puerto Rican belt. You know what I'm saying? For New York, baby. You know what I mean? Top Rank. How he with the people. You know what I'm saying? He know New York be PR popping. We need that WBO belt out this way. And all these organizations and promoters, they have ties with belts and they establish relationships throughout the years of boxing. Years and years of boxing, they have established relationships. The WBO has a good relationship with Top Rank. Top Rank gets their fighters. They got Abdul Mason to fight. You know what I'm saying? They got Keyshawn Davis, the WBO fight. You know what I mean? They got a good relationship with the WBO. So, and then because I think Top Rank had it with WBA's bullshit, like trying to make two champions. That's fucking bullshit. You're fucking up boxing, bro. And the history books. You can't have two champions simultaneously. I mean, no. There's the championship and the interim. But okay. The whole basis behind an interim champion is because maybe the champion could not perform. He got an injury, or so you make up an interim title so that you don't hold up the division. And you give the number one guy a shot at the belt and he gets it. But rules state that once you win the interim belt, you can't defend an interim belt. Well, you're not supposed to. These guys got fucking 7 title defenses on interim belts, like fucking David the Monster Benavidez was fighting David Morale, and they were fighting for interim belts, and it was getting fucking ridiculous. It really is, right? You're not supposed to fight for an interim belt. The interim belt was put in place because the champion could not perform. Once you win the interim belt, your next fight should be against the champion, and that interim belt should go away. Whoever comes out in the fight. That's how it's supposed to go. These motherfuckers lost their mind. They want the regular champion and the super champion. WBA lost their mind. And it's hard to take them serious. And it's a damn shame they were the original belt. You would think they had their shit together way better than all of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Damn. We got All Facts fighting Devin Haney for fucking the Zuffa title. You guys didn't see the poster? 200 million. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Hey, yo, All Facts is fighting for the Zuffa World Championship. Hey, yo, he's going to be fighting Devin Haney for 200 million ramen soups. Yeah, and 40 of the ramen soups are going to come without the package. Yeah, yo, listen, it's going to be a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? All Facts, he's been training hard. Hey, yo, All Facts, I hope Devin doesn't duck you for the Zuffa belt. You know what I'm saying? I hope he don't duck you, bro. My thing broke off. I got to get it back on. Because it used to spin. It used to spin like that. I made it tight, bro, but I gotta refix it. Because Frontline fucked it up and shit. He wants to wear it every day. He comes to my house to put on the Zuffa belt every day. Frontline, stop. You know you like that Zuffa belt. Stop it. It's a real hubcap right there. Sponsored by Campbell Soups. And you fight tuna cans. That's tuna can and a tomato can. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all Facts goes after. You know what I'm saying? And Devin Haney. You know what I mean? 200 ramen soups. Tune in on paper not. Not pay per view, paper not. You know what I mean? Yeah. My boy, All Facts. Pitbull Cruz will defeat him. The interim, defended his interim belt against Nestor Bravo. Listen, this happens every day. Interim title defenses. How many regular title defenses is Javante Davis getting credit for? Motherfucker, you was never champion. Not until you fought Frank the Ghost Martin, where they awarded you the super, and Devin vacated at that point. Now you became champion. I consider it from right there. But this interim shit is getting crazy, bro. Fucking David the Monster Benavidez was about to have all 4 interim belts at one point. Real talk. He was collecting interim belts. Shit was that is just so bad, man. And it's just, it goes right back to round ones. This is one of my famous quotes. I've always said this. You heard this here. Boxing is a business disguised as a sport. The business first, the boxer second. I felt like it's always been that way. And whatever they can promote. When you see the guy walking to the ring, they make these interims and regular belts so similar to their belt. What do you see? The fans think, oh shit, he's a world champion. The casual. They don't know the difference between an interim, the real belt, not unless you got somebody next to him and explains it to him. A casual fan doesn't know how to read a belt. Most casual fans have no idea how to read a belt. You start to read belts when you learn more about boxing. You see the plaques. They start getting filled in. More diamonds start to get put on. The IBF, you see the fur in the back turn black, and the belt is bigger. The first copy you get of the IBF is like this thin, like Subier's one. They don't even put it around the waist. They just fold it like this and put it on their shoulder. It's like a real paper thin. That's your first belt from the IBF. then your belt starts getting chunky. It starts getting bigger. You know what I'm saying? Um, and you start to add onto it. Uh, Terrence Crawford's had a super WBO. The white lines turn gold. That turns gold. There's a ribbon that comes across in the bottom that gets all iced out, and these plaques on Terrence Crawford's belt. Go look at Terrence Crawford's super belt and come back. Or if you got it on your phone, you're watching me on your laptop, Google it. You're gonna see that belt was impressive. It had a lot of history on the belt. And the reason why we do that on the belts, you can see in the WBC, right? The first one you win comes with those pictures that it comes and it like hooks onto it. That one right there, where the pictures hook onto it, right? And then when you start defending it, look at the one with the plates with the diamonds around it. They try to use like that same one with the diamond WBC, but they use the same style when you upgrade the regular WBC and they put the diamonds around it. And your picture goes on the belt. Yeah. So you'll see them. Okay. And the reason why we do this, not all boxers follow tradition, all champions. You know, it's kind of up to you if you want to order it and pay the extra money for them to put it on. If you really don't give two fucks, your belts will stay the same. Errol Spence Jr. didn't seem to, one plaque was missing. You know, some guys don't want to add to their belt. I mean, it's up to you. But the reason why we do that, okay, if you fight a fighter like Saul Canelo Alvarez of Naoya Inoue, you look at Naoya Inoue's belts, they look way different than anybody else's belts now, don't they? Them belts is filled. All his belts is filled with fucking legacy. And the reason why you do that, because if you beat him, you want to take a picture with his belt in the ring. That's the most important tradition in boxing. You beat this kind of champion. Look at all his accomplishments on the belts. This is what kind of champion I just beat. So traditionally, you got to take a picture with the guy's belt you just beat. Then after you go to the locker room, what you don't see, you give his belts back to him. Those are not your belts. Those are his. You give all the belts back to him, and the organization sends you your new belts. And they're going to be empty. They're not going to be like his. They're going to be empty. And you got to start your own legacy. You got to start putting history on your belt like that. Yeah. So, but that's very, very, very important. If you beat Saul like Terrence did, he had to take a picture with all Saul's belts. He has to photo now. Saul looks back in history and sees the man holding his belts, taking a picture with his hardware, and he beat you. That's the sport. That's what we fighting for. And if every man followed tradition and after every victory, title defense, put that legacy on their belt, you would see how strong that champion is. When Terrence Crawford walked into that ring with that WBO, fucking the gold line, that shit was beautiful, man. That belt, man, you wanted to beat him. He put a lot of history on that belt. 5 title defenses or something. I think it was 7 by the time he left. Because you got to count the Errol Spence Jr. fight because he went into the fight with the WBO. So it's also a title defense. You got to count that one with his run. You know, that belt was strong, baby. That's his strongest belt. Yeah, by far. Terrence's strongest belt out of all his belts is that WBO at 147. Is his strongest belt. Yeah. Um, uh, yeah, man. And that's just tradition, man. Good morning. What's up? I'm just someone. All sports is a business first. Kind of, kind of. Not like boxing. Not like boxing. You see, because what makes boxing not a sport like that, they're trying to win a championship with a team. So it's not always business when what you're trying to do is accomplish a goal of your entire team winning the championship. So it's a business in the sense that they pay all these athletes, but it's a sport in the sense there's 5 of you on the court, 12 of you. That's what makes it a team sport. So you think about the sports history, you think about the sports as a franchise, your team, and you go about it as a business. You're making business, you're signing contracts, you're signing guys. I guess everything you can view it as a business. But boxing is the where that you don't have a team sport. It's all individual. So it's always going to be business first, and whoever walks up second will discuss what you're going to do in the sport. Other sports, it's more the longevity of the team's name, the franchise. 49ers are always going to be the 49ers. Dallas Cowboys are always going to be the Dallas Cowboys. Well, fucking Mayweather is the next guy is not going to be Mayweather. It's not going to be Manny Pacquiao. It's not going to be Muhammad Ali. It's not going to it's Joe Schmo. How do you approach that? Business. Not so personal. You guys, you're not the 49ers. So the 49ers represent the sport. So in a whole, it's kind of like the sport first, business second mentality for all other sports. Because you have something. It's always going to be the sport. When you think about football, you think about football, the sport. You see what I'm saying? Like that. It's like boxing is much, much different. It's more business structured. You're not Mayweather. I can't do the same thing with you that I did with him. Now I got a different, yeah, it becomes cold after a while. It becomes cold. Because what I mean by that is there are certain professions in life you will have to give a piece of your soul away to in order to be good in it. That's that's the price you have to pay. There's no way around it. Like being a doctor. When you're a doctor and you're a surgeon, someone comes in with a gunshot wound, right? You're trying to save that person's life. You go out there and tell them, sorry, your loved one, your husband, your son, your daughter, they passed away. And the people are punching you on the chest. No, like boom, boom, boom. And you feel that person's pain. Or you might have went in there and they said, is he going in for surgery? He's going to be just fine, ma'am. And you come out and he died. You told me it's fine. Blah, blah, blah. In order for that doctor to turn around and save the next person's life, he has to turn that off. He can't take in all her pain. And after a while, he's going to be cold. He's going to be coming out to that doctor's room after 10 years. And I don't know how many patients' lives he lost. It's going to come more out like a rehearsal. Sorry, man, we did everything we can do. And soon he's not going to even feel it anymore. In order for him, because if the doctor takes in every person, I'm sorry, but your 7-year-old died. And he views that 7-year-old like his kid. He won't be able to save the next person. He's going to be shaking. He, in his profession, not by choice, it, it was the right thing to do. He would have to detach himself from that. If not, he won't have a long career. If you're emotionally invested with every person's life you lose, you're not going to make it as a doctor. It's not for you. You're going to have to give a piece of your soul to your profession. You can't have that about you. In boxing, you're going to have to give a piece of your soul away. It's the type of sport that, you know, any anybody can shoot a jumper, and I'm talking anybody can shoot a jumper. They could put it between their legs and swing it up like a basket. Ram my backs and behind the back. That motherfucker go in. Not everybody can take a punch to the face. No. Those same big ass dudes you see in them NFL players, big as shit. 6'8", 300 and fucking 60 pounds. One shot. I'm done. I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. It's not, it's just way different. It's way different. Not that you have to have the greatest and the best skills. I don't think that boxing, skill wise, is like the greatest skill sport in the world. No, that NASCAR race car driver shit, them dudes' reflexes is retarded. You're doing 300 miles per hour. One car is gone. Their reflexes is out this world. I think them race car driver dudes, bro, them dudes, they like making decisions like not even in a second, like in a fraction of a second. That's got to be hard. And you got to do that for hours. You got to be like on point, man. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That shit is ridiculous, bro. Them race car drivers' reflexes is no joke. There are a lot of tough sports. I mean, football is a injury prone sport. I wouldn't say football is like the toughest sport to play. No, nah, I wouldn't say it's the toughest sport to play. It's the most physical. Yeah. And injury prone, yeah, it's like physical. You don't have to be tough to play football. You just gotta have some skills. You could be a wimp. You could be a crybaby and still fucking run a fucking 4-4 and catch a ball. You don't necessarily have to be tough, is what I'm saying. Not every guy that played football is a tough guy. No. No, I don't think you gotta be tough to play football. Um, Grueling, yeah. Uh Now that rugby shit, that's a bunch of tough motherfuckers out there playing. That's different. They don't got no pads, no helmets. They some brutes. That's like a lot of fucking strength, pressure. Like, yeah, you gotta be tough to play rugby. And that lacrosse shit with them sticks, man. You be bashing each other. Oh, like, yo, baseball, you gotta have skills. You gotta have skills, endurance, you gotta be athletic. Uh and you have to have reflexes, depending where you play. Like not every player, every human in the world can play baseball. You got to have a good arm, and you got to be able to see and hit a curveball and shit. That takes a lot of skills to play baseball. It takes a lot of skills to play. You got to think about it, right? The ball comes out of the pitchers anywhere between 90 to 102, right around there, right? And it comes off the bat at 120. Third base is the closest. You got I mean, third basemen, they skillful. The outfielders, you gotta have a cannon. You gotta be able to gun a dude out from fucking. You can't play in the outfield in major league. You can be able to catch, bat, but if you can't throw, you're not gonna make the team. So you gotta have a lot of shit to play baseball. Baseball's a bit different. Um, but there's just a lot of other sports that are fucking, but they're not as famous. They're not like rugby is not more well known than the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Because the NFL kills you with the pass. Once they started passing that ball, NFL took off. Rugby's not going to beat the NFL when it comes to that. That's why. But I think you got to be tougher to play in rugby. And then I don't think that like football is the toughest sport when you got like fucking bare knuckle boxing. That shit is fucking crazy. A meat grinder of a sport, you're not going to have a long career. Now that's a tough sport. Bare knuckle boxing, bro, will beat NFL hands down any day as a tougher sport. Like, what the fuck is the NFL to bare knuckle boxing? You know, it's NFL is not the toughest sport, but it's more famous than fucking bare knuckle boxing. And I'd rather play in the NFL than to do that shit. Mm. Did you see Paulie Malignaggi's face? God damn. He looked like he got blown up and put together by little people. Paulie. Bro, he had zippers all down. Yo, he had the Michael Jackson jacket on his face. Like, Jesus Christ. That's a crazy. What do you guys think is the most grueling sport? You know, it doesn't have to be famous. Like I said, don't think of popularity because you're not going to figure it out. You're just going to go by the most populars. The NBA, NFL, baseball. We know this. Those are the most popular. Yeah. Duh. Like, yeah. But the most grueling sports, the fucking hardest sports to ever compete in. What do you guys think is the most hardest sport in the world right now? It doesn't have to be like the most famous, right? A triathlon, maybe. You ever see those sports, right? When they like ride the bicycles and they got to get in the water, right? Then they got to rock climb. Probably got to shoot an eagle out the sky, right? You know what I'm saying? And then fly down and save a baby from a burning building, right? And do some shit like that, right? Those kind of sports. I think that shit is tough. That triathlon shit, bro. That's got to be one of the toughest fucking events. You got to swim like the real ones. I'm talking the big ones where they're in the ocean type shit, and they swimming. They got like wherever dropped off on some point. They swim back, and then they get on a bike. Then they ride like 20 fucking miles. Then they get off the bike. Then they're doing like an archery. Then they're carrying a log on their back. Now that, my friends, is grueling. That's a tough sport. You ever see those firefighters tournaments? Like one time I'm scrolling and I was watching these firefighters. Like it was like a firefighter contest. They were running up with the ladder. They had the dummy on their back. Oh, they was flying. I've never seen anything like that. I was like, oh shit, right? And it was, there's just a lot of fucking sports that are really, really tough. Might not be the most popular sports in the world, but tough. What's that shit? Them dudes, them rich people be used to watching. They used to have like that fucking arm thing that came out. They put the ball in it, and the guy would run and he throw it. He had like that little polo hat type shit on. Where one dude, one time in a match, he caught the ball, and the dude was in front of him, the guy he was playing against, and he went like that, whap, and hit the guy in the back of the head, and that was it. He laid him out right there. It was a wrap for him. For the dude, they say that the ball comes out at some outrageous speed and shit. I never really watched it. I don't know the rules about it. It was like some rich shit. Remember, I don't see it much. I don't even know if they still play it. But I remember when I was a kid. on ESPN. You would see like when the worldwide leader of sports would come on, it would start off with that skier dude busting his ass down the fucking slope. It's storm coming down, and he started busting his ass, and they'll show like all moments and clips of sports and Olympia shit, and that was like the intro to back then and shit. And they used to have like those dudes, and they would throw the ball. They would like cuff, and it would be like a wall. And they hit it, boom, like they bounce everywhere. I never knew that ball came out that fast. I remember them telling me about it, how fast that ball actually came out of that. That shit took skills, bro, to play that game. I thought it was just some bullshit. Yeah. Just like that cricket shit where you throw the ball, bounces on the floor, then you hit it. What the fuck are you guys doing? Playing retarded baseball? Like, what is this? And I guess that shit is like, well, I don't see it being tough. I, I think anybody can play that shit. Anybody. I get an inner city kid. Put that shit in his hand. Yo, go hit that. He'd probably beat your whole team. Nah, bro. Them kids in the inner city, they play wiffle ball. They would play the. We be in New York like this. Yo, we used to have kids in the neighborhood in New York, right? In New Jersey. They throw a wiffle ball. Like, bro, these kids figured out, bro. My man used to throw that shit. That shit used to dance like that. We take the wiffle ball back, pack it with newspaper, wet newspaper, cut out the top, put plastic. That way it'd be heavier. The wiffle ball would hit. After the wiffle ball would break, after a while, you pack that bitch in, start wrapping it with tape. We got a better one. All of a sudden, we cranking them. Yo, my man, when you get a brand new one, it wasn't broken, you wasn't hitting his shit. Shit, yo, he used to throw the craziest pitches. Shit would dip. You be dipping on you, man. Man, listen, them inner city kids will beat them shit out of them dudes with that cricket bounce shit. Fuck out of here. I never got that sport. But anyway, guys, yeah, cricket, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I can say football has the highlights. I mean the highest chance of injury. Yeah, uh no. Bare knuckle boxing has the highest percentage of injury. Your life expectancy as a bare knuckle fighter is 5 fights, 6 fights is your career. There has been no bare knuckle match fighter that is going to get past that in like the world BFC, whatever. Who has been there that successfully fought 10 times in the history of bare knuckle? Who? You mean 10, less than 10 performances? That's your career? You have sustained so much damage, at least in the NFL. There's thousands of injuries you can get. You're hurt every week. There's not an NFL player that plays that's 100% throughout the season. That's a lie. They're all fucking hurt. Every one of them is hurt. But you can have a career as an NFL player. Your life expectancy as a bare knuckle match fighter, 6 fights. That's your career. That's the average. Like, you're not going anywhere. That is that's a meat grinder of a sport. You will, you're not doing not. Paulie had what? 2 fights? 1 fight? And as a bare knuckle fighter, and he's retired? He really thought he was going to go in there with his boxing skills, right? And he was going to go in there and he was going to beat the shit out of these bare knuckle fighters that, they're barely boxers. And my boxing ability is going to outdo. No, brother, you were old. Your reflexes were slow. You just thought you were still the man you once was. That dude beat man. Listen, 1 fight, Paulie's all done. In an NFL game, you can go out there one play and get rocked. I understand. Yeah. But I think that bare knuckle shit is way worse than football. It's just gotta be way worse. I don't see anything like that, bro. Uh-uh. Even UFC fighters make it fucking they have a career. You can't even say that about the U. If I was bringing up UFC against football, UFC it's all act. You know what I'm saying? So you can get a lot of injuries in the UFC. Yes. Um, and after every fight, you might have to, but you can get out of quick. Just like one kick to the face is over with, unscathed. Right? You could have a quick night. That's a good thing. But it would be up there with football. I mean, football, bro. We seen in football. I saw that Buffalo Bill dude have a heart attack right there on the fucking field. Of all the fucking, and like I saw dudes get hit in football and spin. Helicopter dudes from the Jets. Uh man, they've been some big shots in football. I seen dudes get hit and not move. Not move. Poof. Out. Yeah. But we see that in boxing all the time. Dudes get knocked out like that, you know? In football, it's crazy because I remember when that guy got hit. Who was it? If anybody can help me, he gets hit and his fingers start throwing up gang signs. You've seen it? Remember it? He was on the ground like this. And he was doing like this, right? And his toes started to point. His cleats, you could see his toes like pointing. So when that happened in football, people lost their mind. No, no, look at his fingers. Look how hard he got hit. Look at the reaction. Um, there was a quarterback from the Miami Dolphins that his head got whipped back and they put him in the tent and they took him out the game, right? And all these little injuries, and when they see it on a football field, for his football being so violent, when you see something like that, you guys are shocked. So I guess it's not that violent. You're just more injury prone. Because to tell you the truth, we see that in boxing every day. The fact that we don't see his hands throw up gang signs, why? They got the gloves on. They are throwing up gang signs. Every knockout, those guys' hands are like this. You ever see the boxer get punched and he's on the ground, he's still throwing punches? He's knocked out, but he's throwing punches. What hides that from the public is that their hands are covered. Their feet are pointing out. You seen that knockout by Roy Jones? He knocked out. He started having a seizure. But when they see that in football, they're like grotesque. They're like, oh my god, how is that? Like, mm, that's why you're not considered all that tough to play football. You can't even do tough shit, horrifying hits without people going, we need better equipment. We need better helmets. We need better mouth guards. Oh my God. Did you see that? You can't do that. We're going to fine you $75,000 for hitting a guy too hard. That's a bunch of tough guys saying not to do your best. Don't hit him too hard. Tackle him, but not too hard. They don't say that in boxing. Knock him out, not too hard. Punch him in the face, but don't break his orbital bone. But when you break his orbital bone, it's okay. And if you do that shit in football, wait a minute, we're going to have to make new helmets. We're going to have to add new rules. Matter of fact, you guys are going to be playing with pillows wrapped around your back. We're going to put pillows on your knees. You know what I'm saying? Because now, because he got hit, now you can't look at the quarterback. If you look at the quarterback, 15 yards. Matter of fact, you looked at him twice, you're suspended off the game. Yeah. Following a week's investigation, you looked at him twice. That's your tough sport? That every time someone get hurt, they make up a new fucking rule, want some new goddamn equipment. Some man. In boxing, they don't give two shits about us. They ain't made a new mouth guard or a fucking new model of a glove since God knows when. It's always been 8 ounces, 10 ounces. Maybe the design of the glove, the roll or the flatter, or same weight, same weight. Uh, there hasn't been the invention of a fucking mouth guard that prevents you from getting knocked out. Now, this here, they don't let us fight with headgear every time our head snaps back on the canvas, right? They're not giving us, they just keep sending us out there. And, in all these other sports, they keep making more rules and more things. And basketball, if you fucking touch the guy, you just flop on the floor. Right? So, but I don't want to take shots at other sports and shit. And it's how you view it. If you love football, I encourage you to watch it. Baseball, basketball, whatever. I encourage you to watch it. Boxing is no better than, no greater than any sport. Any athlete that chooses to go their path in whatever direction in sports, God bless you. You know what I mean? But it's just some are tougher than the others, and some other sports take more skills and shit like that. And like I said, those race car drivers are fucking phenomenal. They are. I didn't know their reflexes were like that. I didn't know. Not everybody can be a race car driver. No, you got to be born with that shit. That's super fucking. And it's just like, okay, like horseback, them jockeys, right? Not everybody can ride a horse. Well, anybody can ride a horse. Anybody. Any human in the world can ride a horse. Any age. What I meant to say was not everybody is that size. Like them horse jockey dudes, those guys are real rare. You're putting no weight on the horse. The horse is basically running by itself. The guy weighs maybe 90 pounds, 80 pounds. The full grown man that rides those horses. You ever see those jockeys get off the horse? Bro, they're fucking little. They are where do you find men like that? Like those peso mocas in boxing, they're 105s, like the Oscar Collazos. Like, unfortunately, you were born and that's what God gave you. I'm sorry. And you work with what you got. Whatever, how many men in the world are that big, you guys fight against each other to be one of you champion. It's not to minimize who they are. They're actually competing at a very high level with guys their size that are also like that. So they got it just as tough as all of us, right? But jockeys, not everybody is that size. Suppose I wanted to be a jockey, and all my life I wanted to ride a horse. I, I'm too tall. I'm too big. I can fucking try to shrink myself all I want. I try to kill. I still wouldn't get that job. There'd be dudes this big. They'd get the job. Not everybody can do that in that sense. You really, really have to be born to do that sport. Fucking an NFL player is not getting on a fucking horse and beating one. No, you got to be born into it. That's what you got. You know what I'm saying? Like that is a real. That's not a sport everybody can do. It's just not. Not everybody was that size, and it's not. And the NBA is not a sport that anybody can do because that little dude. Well, no and yes, because Spub Webb, you know what I'm saying? AI might have looked short to you, but AI is not short. He's not. He's not short as like standard for what is AI 6'1"? Allen Iverson. What was he? 6'1", 6 feet. He's not really short. He looks short amongst them, but he's not that short in real life. AI is taller than me. I'm 5'8", 5'9". AI was a lot taller than me. So he's not short in that. Now Muggsy Bow, Spub Webb, them dudes, they was short. They was really short. But there was two people in the fucking history like of basketball, you know. But yeah, I mean, not everybody can play back. You gotta be tall, right? Shit like that. But anyway, enough ranting about comparing sports and shit. We were here today to discuss about this Zuffa shit. And Zuffa, man, listen, man, from me to guys to Zuffa, um, I'm interested to see what channels like Claymore says. I can see Claymore right now with his fucking pom poms. Roof, yo, bro, him and Max Kellerman holding hands on the beach, side by side with Turkey. No flip flops, their toes in the sand type shit. Just Zuffa, just striding along. I can see him now. I'm gonna take the time on my day. I gotta go hear what he has to say because I know the shit's gonna get poured on real thick, right? And I'm just here to say to you guys, I'm not against Zuffa. I'm not, but I am not gonna give you the nod if you didn't earn it. There are other entities in boxing, Box Lab, Pro Box. They have 100% paid the way. They have put on exciting cards, exciting matches. You have actually done nothing I have not seen before, to tell you the truth. I'm not going to just get up here and act like I said, like when my wife comes in with her nails done, like I'm supposed to get crazy. No, no. Exciting? Great job, Zuffa. Great fight card. What is this, your 10th? Keep doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm not against you. Okay? I enjoyed your product so far. I'm on like it's but some of the fights were better, okay? And just because you put one or two fight cards that were actually better than Pro Box doesn't mean, or in that weekend or that week of or the last few months, doesn't mean Pro Box never did that. No, you just happen to be the last one to do it. So I'm not going to be a prisoner in the moment. No. All I'm asking, continue doing what you're doing, putting these amazing fight cards together. But, fight fans, be aware that people like they have hired on their staff, like Max Kellerman, is going to embellish, it seems, not a little bit, not enough for you not to notice. But have you ever heard the word outlandish? Max Kellerman. Brother, you have passed and exceeded my expectation for boxing bullshit talk. It's unfortunate that you're this kind of man. You've been around this long, and it takes this for you to be remembered as the guy that went to football and got embarrassed by Tom Brady, the guy that came back to boxing and sold his soul to Zuffa. Seems like everywhere you go, you're getting a bad reputation, and everything you've been breaking down and calling for the past few years in boxing, we're all starting to question. Like I said, I broke down scenarios and stories where I myself was a victim of his reporting. And when then I was confronted with the truth, I was left with two things. Edwin, either tell the truth or back up the lie. Those are your options. Here you go. Have at it. You can sit there and you can tell yourself all kinds of outlandish lies. And then they might not even be lies. What they consider little white lies. They're not considered lies exactly as long as you put the word white in front of it. I guess that X's that out. Ignore the part where it says lie. Just a little white lie. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer a lie, I guess. You can convince yourself that if you want. You can look at the truth in the face. No, what I saw was an interesting fight card. I saw a great knockout. I had a great time. What I did not watch was the fucking greatest fucking boxer the middleweight division has ever seen in history. That didn't happen. That this guy is going to beat somebody. McKenna. No, and McKenna did not ask for that. You said that, Max. So there you go. There you go. You're confronted with the truth. There's been a lot of lies that were told at that table on Zuffa that night. A lot of lies. You unpack it. You want to support Zuffa? Because maybe you have a fighter there. Maybe you have a favorite fighter there. Maybe you have a relative there. So you want to support Zuffa. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you know what you're supporting. And you don't get lost in the way behind you supporting, you get caught up in that bullshit. And all of a sudden you find yourself stamping this shit that Max is spewing because you're loyal to the cause or you want it to be successful. And in doing so, you can get trapped behind something. You saw it coming. You don't pay attention to Max, but I'm going to still support Zuffa. Soon, he's going to catch you into his bullshit if you're not careful. I'm telling you, he did it to me. He did it to me. Soul Fight fans, thank you for tuning in. 125 pounds is the max with all equipment. What, bull riding for them horse little dudes? That's the maximum? That's all you can weigh? And that would be a big dude, right? He would be big at 125. These little dudes, bro, have you ever actually been to a horse race and seen them like walk by? Like you're up there putting your bets and you and your fucking Theo or whatever. I was a little kid, right? And we up there and shit, we gambling, and he's telling me, "Don't tell Titi we're here." And I'm like, "I'm not gonna say nothing. Just give me $20, right? Right?" And you're putting your money, and you see them walk by. And if I was, 9 years old, what was I, 9? Hey, 9, 10 at best, maybe 8. Shit. And at 9 years old, I'm looking eye to eye with the horse rider. I'm 9. I'm like, yo, why you got a mustache, little kid? Like, yo, why is this little kid got a mustache? Right? Right? Like, them dudes is little, them jockey dudes. Now, I thought the little weight division, that the flyweights were little in boxing, but they're not smaller than those guys. I don't know. I don't know who's smaller. And if they weigh 125 with all the equipment, that means that they actually weigh like fucking 100 pounds. That equipment got to weigh like 25 pounds altogether. The cleats, the pad things, the fluffy pants with the hip things that come out, right? They don't weigh much. That fucking helmet that got the metal in it, because if they fall off at that speed, they gonna fucking smack their head. So that helmet weighs. I think the helmet is probably the heaviest part of their equipment. I would think. That whip they got on them when they be whipping the horse, to that's got to weigh a couple ounces, right? Maybe a pound at least. What else they got for equipment? The eyeglasses, they got the glasses. That's a couple ounces, right? That can't weigh a lot, right? So you got the like the gargle things. The helmet is probably the heaviest. Uh, Damn, I don't see their equipment being that heavy. 20 pounds? No. Their equipment is like 6 pounds, maybe. Some shit like that. Well, the helmet is the biggest thing. I don't know how dense they are, how solid it is. Because you can look at something, a small helmet, it look like it don't weigh nothing, but when you pick it up, that motherfucker is solid. But I know for when you come to race cars and anything that travels fast, a fucking horse, dog, fucking car, a motorcycle, it seems to me anyway, I don't have any experience in that shit, right? But it seems to me that they have a need for speed. And the way you make something faster is you take the most weight you can off. So them race cars are that's not made like a real car. That's like fucking carbon fiber. The entire fucking cover of the car. The headlights are fake. They take everything out of the car. You know what I'm saying? And so I would think that their equipment, I would have to restrike that. I don't know anything about the weight of their equipment. Oh yeah, and they have like these body vests. That's right. Underneath their shirts, their button shirts, they got like this equipment. Yeah, they do. Yes, yes, they do. They got this shit. So if they fall off the horse, so they got these like these strap. I don't know how it goes on, but now I'm starting to think I've seen them like walk around. So I'm not too familiar. I think they got like these little shoulder pads underneath their shirt. I don't. I like I said, like I said, man. I would have to look at all this shit up, but yeah, yeah. Mm. Yo, like a lot of sports, like we talk about shit, and look, there's no sport for me like boxing, right? Um, as far as boxing and equipment for boxing, not much has changed in the past 20, 30 years. They have improved on like certain things like wraps. They've added length to the wraps. The material is different. They've improved on what we already had. Yeah. You'll get a mouth guard. It used to be back in the day just one top. Now they got it with both bottoms. They got some with springs to try to take the shock from the shot and stuff. Um Throughout the years, headgear has evolved, you know. Um, you know, now it's more to try to like withstand blows. Headgear was actually invented. They have these like the earmuff things, and they have the two bars that go like that on the headgear, right? And the headgear was invented so that you made exaggerated movements to dodge a punch. The bar that goes like this, it'll slip right off, and it'll also prevent you from getting punched in the ear, right? But if you don't know anything about boxing, like if you've never boxed, I've never put on a headgear that stopped the punch. Like the headgear does not absorb the power of the punch. It really doesn't. It minimizes it by two things: the size of his gloves, that they're 16 ounces, and the fact that you got a headgear on. So it'll take away from the punch a little bit, but you're still gonna feel that shit. You are. Um, the thing with getting, it's like when he punches you with those big gloves on with the headgear. You can feel it, but you can also feel that the punch is a little less on fight night. On fight night, once you get on this 8-ounce gloves, and you get put them gloves on and you go out there, first of all, your hands are gonna feel like light as fuck, boy. You're gonna be you might be too fast for yourself. In the beginning, and when you start fighting, you'll catch on. And you'll be like, oh shit, no wonder we fight in 16-ounce gloves, 12-ounce gloves as kids. Because by the time they put us in these 8-ounce shits, our fucking hands are flying. We're like new infants. We don't know what to do with them. We're like, the fuck? Right? So when you get hit with an 8-ounce glove, right? That's when you really know the difference. Even when you block shots in boxing, say you're in a high guard and you go like this and you block the guy's shot, you still feel that. You don't actually. That's why they say punch through the guard. Just if his hands are up, just punch through that. Punch it. You're still gonna slap his hand against his face. It's gonna hurt. It still hurts. I've blocked many punches. Boom. The only time that I notice punches virtually have no effect once my adrenaline is going and I'm in the fight. That's when I've always noticed I actually never felt the other guy's punch. I saw the flash, the boom, but it wasn't enough. I've never been knocked out like that, like boom, where in a ring where like I was like, no, I've never been put down, but I've been punched hard. And I remember it's like a flash, but my adrenaline's going. I've always just kept going forward, for the most part in my fighting career. I didn't get to the point where I guess I met my equal. I might have not got there, because and then that guy probably would have put me down. I didn't get there. Um, I got my share. I got my little golden gloves underneath my belt. But I'm just saying the only time that's like in the first round, I felt every fucking punch. Every punch. That shit hurt it. And after like boom, 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 oh fuck you. That's it. And I was walking through them like we was just banging. Um, that's when you kind of don't feel it. Then I've never been in this situation in a ring. In a ring. Outside of a ring, the only other time you feel those punches is when you're out of the fight. When he beat the fight out of you. You no longer want to be in the fight. You feel everything. Yup. 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 You like, fuck, bro. You didn't hit this dude with everything you got. And he's got like fucking, uh, he's got like fucking unbelievable strength. Country strength. You ever fight a guy that's from like country? And I put this dude down 5, 6 times. He still got up. All busted, bro. I couldn't finish him, bro. Homies, you want me to say it? Jump this motherfucker. I said jump him. And yo, you gonna need some help, especially if you're not in shape. There's just certain dudes and shit, you know what I mean? But anyway, enough with my funny stories. Listen, guys, man, I hope you guys were entertained. I was entertained with the Zuffa card. Not like Max Kellerman. Oh, I was. I'm not gonna go that far, right? But I was entertained. I was entertained. I have nothing to say about the products or the fights. Zuffa, you guys put a great card. I had a wonderful time. I didn't know it was like that in commentary until I went back and watched it with the audio on. I was like taken back. So you see, the good thing with me that I think because of the fact that I watched it with no volume, when I went back and watched it with volume, my first perception was not skewed by what they were saying. I honestly got a good assessment of what I had already watched the fight and already thought what I thought in my own opinion. when I went back to watch it with volume is where I saw a different fight and I saw a different message which they were trying to put out. Had I watched the fight with volume, I don't think I would be look at it the way I'm looking at it right now. I would have been offended. I would have got mad, and I probably wouldn't have seen that what their product was not should not be translated through Max Kellerman's eyes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Fight fans, please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's see if we can get on tonight, and I'll see you guys around 7:30. Shit, we might even go early, maybe 6. Who knows? Who knows? Hey, be on standby. I'll send you out notifications. Yo, fight fans, you guys have been the best. Thank you, chat, for tuning in. Everybody that typed in. Look, we all have our opinions. You know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. You know what I mean? Thank you for tuning in here at Round One Sports Talk. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next one.